All right, today we're diving into a really cool new open source tool that tackles a problem I think every single AI developer is starting to get a little nervous about: runaway costs. It's called AgentBudget, and it's all about putting a hard stop on how much your AI agents can spend in real time. Let's get into it. So let me just start with a question that, might keep you up at night. Imagine this. You've built this amazing autonomous AI agent. It's working great, you ship it, but then what if it hits some weird edge case, gets confused, and just starts calling an API over and over and over again?
Well, this is what happens. A single bug, a simple retry loop hitting a powerful model like GPT-4 can make hundreds of calls in minutes. And before your monitoring system even sends an alert, poof, you could be out 50, 100, maybe even $200. It's like a silent killer for your cloud bill. Now, this isn't just some random bug we're talking about. It's actually a systemic issue that has a name: the runaway agent problem. And this is the exact challenge AgentBudget was built from the ground up to solve. So let's really dig into what makes this problem so tricky.
And here's the thing, right? With traditional software, costs are usually pretty deterministic. You make one API call, you know what it costs. Simple. But agents are a whole different beast. They're designed to be unpredictable, to decide for themselves how many tools to use or which models to call. That's their magic, but it's also a massive financial risk.
So this runaway agent problem, it really breaks down into four main failure modes. First up, you've got the classic infinite loop we just talked about. Second is something called cost opacity. Basically, it's super hard to know what API tokens actually cost in real dollars. Third, you've got multi-provider chaos, where your agent is juggling different costs from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google. It gets messy. And finally, scaling amplification, where just a tiny error rate suddenly blows up into a huge problem when you have thousands of users. And this cost opacity thing, man, this slide just nails it. Your team might decide to switch an agent from, say, GPT-4o mini to the full-blown GPT-4o model. The token count might look pretty similar in your logs, but guess what? The cost just skyrocketed by 15 times. Without looking at the actual dollars, this is almost impossible to catch until it's way too late. Okay, so we've laid out the problem. It's real, it's expensive, and frankly, it's a little scary. So now let's talk about the solution. This is where AgentBudget enters the picture, and I love how they frame it, not just as a monitoring tool, but as a guardrail.
So what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, AgentBudget is a runtime circuit breaker for your AI agents. It's a Python library that does one thing, and it does it incredibly well. It lets you set a hard, non-negotiable dollar limit for every single agent session. If that agent tries to spend 1 cent over its budget, bam, the circuit breaker trips and shuts the session down.
Okay, and for all you systems and backend folks out there, you are going to love this analogy from their GitHub page. They say, AgentBudget is like ULimit for AI agents. And that is just perfect. Just like ULimit stops a single runaway process from eating all of the CPU on a server, AgentBudget stops a single agent session from draining your entire API budget. It's a fundamental resource constraint for a totally new kind of resource.
All right, so that's the what. Now let's get into the how. You're probably thinking, okay, that sounds great, but is it going to be a nightmare to implement? Let's take a quick peek under the hood, because this is where it gets really elegant.
And the magic is right here. It's simplicity. For most use cases, this is literally all the code you need. You import the library, you initialize it with a budget, like $5. That's it. From there, AgentBudget automatically monkey patches the official SDKs from OpenAI and Anthropic, intercepting every call without you having to change a single line of your existing agent code. It's amazing. So at its heart, it's this super smart 3-layer circuit breaker. First, you get a soft limit warning, a little heads up when maybe 90% of the budget is gone. Second, you have the hard limit enforcement, which will just terminate the execution if the budget is breached. And third, and this part is just so clever, it has a built-in loop detector. It can actually spot pathologically repetitive calls and stop a runaway agent before it even drains the full budget. And the architecture, it's all about being lightweight and honestly, just staying out of your way. It runs right inside your application's process. There are no extra servers to manage, no databases to maintain, no separate cloud accounts. It just works, patching the SDKs, tracking costs in dollars, and enforcing your limits. Zero infrastructure required. So what does this all actually mean for you, whether you're a developer or a team lead? Well, it means you can go from feeling anxious every time you hit deploy to actually shipping your agents with total confidence.
You set the budget, you know it's safe, and you can move on.
Now, this comparison table really shows where AgentBudget shines. You've got observability platforms like Langsmith, which are fantastic for analyzing things after they've happened, but they don't actually enforce limits in real time. Other tools might cap spending at the API key level, but that doesn't help you for a single runaway user session. AgentBudget is pretty much unique in that it gives you real-time, per-session enforcement, and crucially, it thinks in dollars, not abstract tokens. And this is what that control actually looks like in practice. For every single session, you get this beautiful, structured log. You can see right here, the session starts with a $5 budget. Then every LLM call gets logged with its exact cost. You get that soft limit warning at 90%, and then you see the final report. It's just complete visibility. And look, it's pretty clear this is solving a massive pain point for people. In just its first week, the project saw over 2,300 installs and racked up more than 65 stars on GitHub. I mean, that kind of crazy fast adoption just proves how many developers were out there waiting for a solution exactly like this.
You know, this quote from their white paper just ties everything together perfectly. As we move into this new agent economy, where agents can autonomously pay for things, we need two critical pieces. We need payment rails to let them spend money, and we need spending guardrails to control how much they spend. AgentBudget, well, it's that essential guardrail.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about for your own projects. Are your AI agents running without a safety net? Because AgentBudget offers a really simple, powerful, and open source way to finally build one. Thanks for checking this out with me.